Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, let's have a look at what's been going on with gold and silver and also the mining stocks right now. I'm going to be looking at just a bit more of a bigger picture here, and also I'm going to be looking at I'm going to be looking more at the cup and handle pattern that is still potentially in play on that big, massive, long-term monthly charts, plus also the gold and mining stocks, and why I believe the greatest shock of our lifetime is coming. Massive shock is coming when it comes to the mining stocks, and why the greatest transfer in history is coming when it comes to the mining stocks and the metals as well. Before I do start, guys, a little bit of an announcement. So many people have asked me, how do I trade the markets? Like, I do these market updates, but how do I actually trade the markets? What sort of system do I use? And so on and so forth. So what I'm doing, guys, I'm running a live training. If you go to Johns, Johns, livetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. I'm running a live training today, and on that training, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I went from $250,000 in debt to trading full time. I'm going to reveal you exactly how I trade the markets. I'm going to show you even how I scan 3,000 stocks to find these trades, and how I can have all my trading done in half an hour per day, which I do. Maybe an hour per day maximum, how I have all my trading done. So if you want to look at this, learn my trading system, see how I scan the markets to find these amazing opportunities, and so on and so forth, link in the description. Go join that right now, guys. I look forward to seeing you right there. Let's actually get straight into the gold market here. Now, what's been happening, let me actually bring up the GOD prices. The GOD price, let me bring up a chart with the no moving averages. And the GOD prices right now have been massively, massively starting to create a very nice move to the upside. Now, guys, the overall chart has still been very nicely to the upside. We're still making major higher lows in the markets, okay? So looking at the weekly charts, we are still making higher lows. The bull market is still in place. Even though we had this overall downward trend through here, we are still making significant higher highs and higher lows in the market. So the trend has not changed, even though we had a 6-month pullback in the markets. Well, some people think, yeah, it's a long pullback, right? But the trend is your friend until the end, right? So when does the end of the trend? Well, in a upward trend, we have higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, right? Higher lows are the most important part. So when we're looking at the big picture on gold, even though we had this pullback here for 6 months, and on that short-term daily chart, yes, we're in a small downward trend, very, very volatile. When we look at the big picture, guess what? The buyers are still being in control the whole time, and nothing has changed. Now, why do I say that? I say that because if you look at this here, we have a move up, higher low, move up, higher low, move up, double bottom. We didn't break the low, right? If we run up, higher low, and we come down, make a double bottom, and then we rally back up again, we didn't break the low. So that's the most important part. If we break the low, that's where the warning sign comes into it. It's exactly what actually happened to Bitcoin recently, and then it started to roll over, and then you know what happened? It went from like 50, where confirmation of sellers in control, down to 30 really quickly. I think Bitcoin's got a lot more downside to go. Just quietly between me and this one person that's watching this video right now. Right, so we had this double bottom. Guess what? Then we ran up, and then we pulled back here. Here's the space, right? So there's spaces between the major significant highs and lows in the market. So I really want to share that with you, okay? Look at this here. Move up, move down, move up, move down. And how you know this, look at this here, move up, and then we have this move down, and now we're getting this move up again. And you can see here, how you know that is you have these spaces. See how there's a space between there? There's a space between these lows. That's how you know it's significant. Now we have this really big space, and that's how you know it's significant. But look at this here. Higher lows, double bottom, and then now another significant higher low in the markets. And when we start to look at the Fibonacci levels, we go from the low through to the high point. You can see here that the 50 to 60% level, smack dead on, followed by a long-term support line, actually came into place with gold, and now we're starting to make this rally out of this here. So we had this strong move down, strong move back up, and now I wouldn't be too surprised if this is now the start of a very nice movement to the upside. Now that doesn't mean we're going to go up every single day. We could even just get a very weak pullback for a month and then start to continue up from there. In fact, we're probably going to get that, so don't be shocked if we do get a nice pullback in the markets. But all right, the horse is just getting warmed up. Trust me, guys. Actually, there's no guarantees of doing well in the market. So don't listen to me. Take your laptop, put in the pool, flush the pool, And you know, yeah, do whatever you want. do whatever you want with that, right? But let's have a look at this big long-term picture, because the big long-term monthly picture, guess what we have here? We have the good old cup and handle pattern, and that's still in play today. It's just taking a long time on the monthly charts, because of the monthly charts do take time. So if we're looking at this here right now, let me take this off the screen here. If we're looking at this here right now, what do we have? We have a very nice move up, and then a move to the downside, back up. Now we have this movement through here. So the cup and handle formation is still in the play. That simply means now we have the handle, we have the cup, right? So we have the cup, and now we're getting the handle. When does the confirmation confirm that this is a cup and handle, and we're now likely to make the projection of the cup and handle? Step one, what's confirmation? Step two, what's the projection? Step one, we need a break above the previous highs here. So let me take a look up the screen. This high point up here, that high point right there, that there above 190 is where the handle starts to confirm. And now we're likely to make step two, the projection. What is the projection? The projection is from the previous high. Then we go down to the previous low of this whole big cup. We measure from the high up like that. And then we measure from the low just like that. And then we measure like that. And so therefore, once the candle is confirmed, remember, breaking above, call it say 200 print, then the confirmation of that, then we're now likely to start to see a very nice move back to the upside of 280, and that's what we're seeing through there. And we're starting to see a lot of movement amongst the mining stocks and so on and so forth. And why I say the greatest, the biggest shock of our lifetime is coming is because, guys, the inflation that we've started to see is just the start, I believe, of a lot more inflation to come, and that inflation is going to continue to be bullish. And markets go in cycles, right? So the last decade has been what? Hasn't been for the miners and metals, has been for equity, stocks, and so on and so forth. But there's going to be a massive rotation out of a lot of these markets and into gold, silver, and mining stocks. So therefore, I believe that we are just starting one of the greatest bull markets in history when it comes to the mining stocks, when it comes to gold and silver, because it's the decade. Last decade, nothing. This decade, something, right? Everything. If you've been around long enough, you know things go in cycles. Things do well, things don't do well. Things go quiet, and then they go well again, right? You look at any property market, any market out there, you start to see all these patterns form time and time again. We did really well, and then we didn't do really well, and then we're quiet for so many years. As you can see all down the bottom here, we're quiet for 5 or 6 years, and now we're just starting to pick up. This here, if you're looking at this here is what I call the midterm slowdown. We have two main phases here that I like to use when it comes to big bull markets, right? Even this bull market back here, look at this back here. We had the phase number one move up, and then we had the midterm pullback. And then we had phase number two, which was what? Longer than the phase number one. Look what we've had here. Phase number one, midterm pullback. It's going to be longer than the phase number one. Now, if I bring up an extension of that, which means from the low point to the high point, this is just rough estimates, doesn't mean it's going to happen. And then we actually bring up this point through here, right? And let me actually see if I can bring on some 16.8, and we'll just go to there. So the 16.8 looks like it's going to be a good level there. So that 16.8 level is a very, very, very nice sort of target there when it comes to this high point, and so from this low point to the high point. So a low point to the high point, 1-to-1 extension is that point through there. This is a 1-to-1. That's a 1-to-1 right there on this level right here, right? So we have this 1-to-1 extension, and now we pull back. So if you use this exact same sort of Fibonacci extension retracement, 1-to-1, move it up through there. If this is going to be the low, then we can see a 1-to-1 projection is indeed up there at 240, and then the 1.68 is also up there around 290 and also 300. And markets love round numbers. As you can see, the market ran up about to 200. Gold, you can see what gold did. Gold actually ran up to 2,000 and stopped. So that's probably what's going to happen. I'm using GLD because we can get a long-term move back we're getting a long-term picture of what's happening back here. I get more data basically from there. So that 1.6 here, the projection of the cup and handle is around the 260, but the market loves round numbers, so I would not be too surprised if it overshot this 1.68 just like it did back here and got to 300. So the overall target really, once this cup and handle confirms, once we start to get a close above this sort of 190, or basically once we start to see a 200 print, then that tells me now the next stop, which may take 12 months, 2 years, it may take some time, would be a 300 print. Now, why do I say that? If you actually look at this here, the major support and major resistance, if you actually look at this here, guess what? 200 level was what? Roughly around the 200 level was the resistance, major resistance. Roughly around the actually at the 100 level was the major support. Isn't that interesting, right? So the major support and major resistance is a $100 difference. Once it breaks 200, the next $100 is up there at 300. So there we go, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this session here, guys. Once again, if you enjoyed this training, come down and join me on my live training today. Learn exactly how I went from not doing well to doing well trading. Learn my trading system. I'm going to walk you through all the details, and I'm going to walk you through my scanning, my scans of how I scan the market to find these trades. Massively high probability, so you can start to use the edge on your side. Go do that right now, guys. Link in description. I think I only can hold about 150 on the actual webinar software there. I think it's 150. I'm not exactly sure, but every time I do this, it always gets jam-packed and sold out because people see that I know what I'm talking about and I know how to trade these markets, and I'm one of the greatest, short-term professional traders in the markets today, and people know that, especially my private clients. So if you want to be able to see exactly what I know about the markets and all this stuff to help you, if you're losing money, secret number 1 is going to help you there. If you're looking for a good trading system, secret number 2 is all for you. If you're looking at how to simplify things so you can start to spend only an hour per day trading and have the rest for freedom, then secret number 3, how I scan the markets. I'm going to show you my scans. I'm going to show you how I scan the markets. Then that's secret number 3 is for you. Link in the description, guys, or go to Johns, JOHNS, livetraining.com, and I'll see you real soon.